Hey guys, it's Moody here and I am back with another awesome speed build. So today we're building an old southern Victorian home with lots of Gothic influences. This house is actually going to be the basis for my new series, The Legend of Zelda Asylum Challenge. That's going to be up starting next week. And I am so excited because I have been a huge fan of Zelda since I was a kid. My dad would play and I would keep watch and help out because I was still kind of young when they came out. But we mostly played Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, beating them both on N64 and then later when they came out on GameCube. I vaguely remember playing 1 and 2 a few times, but definitely not as much. But then Twilight Princess came out, and I was obsessed. I played it religiously, repetitively, I would beat it and beat it and beat it, and then defeat Ganondorf over and over and over with a fishing rod and in all the different outfits. Then I'd smash through the Cave of Ordeals and end up with 2 Great Fairy Tears, which apparently you're not supposed to have. Then I did it again just to find out what the postman said. Now, if you don't get that reference, you definitely have not played Twilight Princess enough. I worshipped that game. I actually beat it before my dad. I think it's the first game I ever beat before my dad. And it's still my favorite to this day. That being said, I know Breath of the Wild is out now, and it is absolutely amazing. It's everything I could have asked for in a Zelda game, because it stays true to the series, keeping the themes and elements of the old games, but with a fresh new look, stunning graphics, and an open world that is honestly second to none. However, I enjoyed the darker themes and overtones as well as the art style in Twilight Princess. Anyway, this is a Sims game and not a Zelda game. So you might have noticed a minute ago there we did a big cut. That's because doing the roof was awful. As you can see here, I'm still fidgeting with it. I like it. I do. I'm happy with the way it turned out. I'm not happy that it took me 2 hours and a bunch of tutorials to figure out how to do it. It's definitely the most complicated roof I have personally ever built. And you'll see me fiddle around with it a little bit more. But honestly, I am super proud of myself for sticking to it and not changing my theme, not changing my ideas, and not having to change the house too much. Anyway, I am going to tell you all about the build rules of this challenge. So obviously with the Asylum challenge, the point is you're stuck in an asylum with 8 other Sims. You can only control your Sim. I'm going to discuss the full set of rules in the episode coming to you next Friday, but I'll tell you a little bit about the build rules. So I'm doing this on easy mode because it's one of the first challenges I've ever really done. So I figured, hey, why not make it a little bit easier and hopefully a little bit funner for myself. So with that comes a lighter set of rules. You can have 2 bathrooms, so 2 showers, 2 sinks, 2 toilets, no more. Probably less if you wanted, but no more. You can have 6 beds, even though there's 8 Sims. Part of the fun. It's supposed to be a run-down kind of asylum, struggling for money. Though my house does not represent that. We'll get to that. You can also only have 8 seating. So if you have a table for 3, you can only have 5 other chairs throughout the lot. This counts for, I'm pretty sure, tables, lounge chairs, dining chairs. It doesn't count for, you need chairs for the chess table and chairs for a computer desk. In easy mode, you can also have a TV and a computer. In the other modes, you're allowed one or the other or none. And you can only have 5 skill items I believe I chose rocket ship, chest, easel, a pool, and a gaming mat. The pool counts as a skill object since they gain body skill while swimming around. Also, you can't use objects that affects your Sim's moods, like none of the lights that came if you have the Sims 3 packs on Origin, or there's some clocks that make you focused, furniture that makes you creative, like that kind of thing. Unless you get it through a career reward, then it's fine, like your Sim can have a job, right? You can't have anything that prevents fires, which is the sprinkler system. And you're supposed to use, like, all the cheapest objects when you're first starting out, like the cheapest counters, the cheapest beds, the cheapest couches, which, for the most part, I stuck to. For the most part. We'll get to that. I'll talk about that when we get to the inside. Now, once you've finished building it, you can't go back into build mode and fix things up or add things. Like, you can't have 2 fridges, you can only have 1 fridge kind of deal. You can upgrade stuff, like when you get your handiness skill up, you can go and upgrade the fridge, you can upgrade showers and tubs and everything. And when you get enough money, you can certainly upgrade your appliances as well, but you have to earn that money since you only start out with $1,000. Now, see, this is what I was talking about earlier when I said you can only use the cheapest items. So I did use the cheapest counters, that's for sure. I used the cheapest microwave, the cheapest fridge, the cheapest stove, blah, 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 blah. What does cheapest even mean anymore? But, like, for lighting, does it really have to be the cheapest? Lighting doesn't affect anything but the aesthetic of the home. And see, like, rugs. Does that count? I guess rugs kind of count because they do have different environment ratings, but, like, I use the cheapest bookcases. There's the cheapest sofa. That's not the outdoor stuff. Like, I don't want a log in my living room. Come on, it's a big Victorian home. There's no log furniture. Playing around with those bookcases was great. I really wanted them to wrap around that corner, but I really don't like clipping. I don't like clipping at all. Even a little bit. I don't like that flashing. I find it very distracting when I'm actually trying to play. So they had to get moved. We rearranged everything a little bit there. What was I talking about? So, in order to have a nice house, what I did, since you can only use cheap stuff and you can't go back into build mode and add stuff, I tried to fill the place with as much cheap stuff as I possibly could. That way, we could end up with quite a nice little Victorian mansion for our insane asylum. What better aesthetic to have than an old, creepy insane asylum? Although mine ends up looking neither old, nor rundown, nor asylum-y, because, I don't know, I like things pretty. I like it clean and neat. And, one fun thing that I did, I was super excited about. I made everything inside white. And, well, okay, if it didn't have a white recolor, I did it in black. Like, come on. So, the white represents the beautiful starkness and clean facility you would expect to see inside an insane asylum. So I tried to go for everything white, everything lighter colors, and then that bathroom is red because I didn't want to duplicate the bathroom wallpaper again. So it's fairly obvious that this house is inspired by, like, creepy old asylums and universities and churches and anything really built in the late 1800s. But I find with most of my builds a little bit of my, or a lot of my personal style sort of creeps into them. And in this house, it manifested itself in definitely a Southern Victorian Gothic kind of style. So, like, the small details, like candelabras instead of chandeliers, and wall sconces with the little curls on the end, and the big bay windows surrounding the curvature as well as simpler landscaping. I definitely went with more organized gardens and a lot less of them than I do with most of my other builds. Normally I'm fairly plant heavy, if you will, but not in this one. Maybe because the backyard isn't humongous and I did want to leave some space if we decide to start a garden, since it's a fairly good way to make money in this game. However, we've moved on to the upstairs. Now, I made a little bit of a mistake upstairs, but we'll see if you can catch it. I'm not going to point it out. I wanted to do 4 bedrooms, but it's an awkward space. I thought it would division itself off well, but because of the stair placement, it gets weird. In the end, we end up with only 3 bedrooms and a bathroom up there. So in this next little bit, I do quite a bit of flicking around. Like there, we just rearranged the kitchen because I completely forgot to put a door out to the outdoor seating / backyard / cookery. I left an open counter space there on purpose because when we upgrade to like a big barbecue, it will actually fit and I won't have to take out counters or anything. Because, like I said earlier, you can only upgrade stuff, not add more stuff. So, then of course I'm trying to finish up the finer details downstairs so I can be all finished with downstairs. Because it was still looking a little bit too blank for me. And I still didn't use the cheap decor. I used some quite nice decor, but I thought it was more important to match the house style since it's just decor. It only gives them a +1 or maybe +2 moodlet if you do a good job. So that just buffs whatever they're feeling. Anyway, I didn't think it was going to make a humongous difference in the actual gameplay. And I've started the upstairs now. I was so excited to get to that the living room was the furthest thing from my mind, but it does get rearranged quite a bit. But I'm really happy with it. I actually love this house. It might be a little bit simpler than some of my ideas. It might be a little bit different in style. Like typically I do a lot of modern stuff. I love the modern style. I'm so minimalist, it's not even funny. But doing something classic and country chic was out of my normal range of building. So not only did I learn stuff, and I especially learned how to do some new roofing techniques, it made me use objects that I didn't always use. Here's a perfect example. I absolutely love these little chest lights, but I haven't found a way to incorporate them into any of my builds yet, but every time I see them in build mode, I just want them everywhere. I love them. When you resize them, they look so cool together. Then this little section here is sort of the organized garden. I figured every asylum has some sort of garden where they can send the patients out to feel calm and with nature and wander the maze and so on and so forth, I guess. That was my theory behind this little section. The greenhouse back there is for plants, and then I just had a bit of fun with those poofy bushes that I don't get a chance to use, but absolutely love them as well. I have to say it was a little bit challenging doing the landscaping this time. Like, I love doing landscaping. The flowers are so pretty. There's a nice variety and matchy-matchy colors, but normally I would put a bench or a lot of benches or a lot of seating outside, but in this one you can only have 8 seats, so it was impossible to put any more benches outside. Obviously, now doing the upstairs now, I had ideas for which patients I wanted to be in which rooms, and if you've seen my Zelda CAS video, you'll know which characters we have created for this challenge. So obviously, I designed this room for the princesses. It's very simple, very soft, and a little bit pink. It's cute without being over the top, because, you know, apparently the asylum is supposed to be broke down and losing funding. So now on to the red room. This one was designed for the boys, pretty much, though there's 4 boys and 4 girls, so some of them are going to end up sharing the room down at the bottom there. And once again, I had a bit of difficulty trying not to put in more seating, but still make it a homey feel, even though it's still kind of a little bit empty. Like, they're definitely not the most decorated of rooms, but I don't think an asylum would be super decorated, considering the patients in there are crazy and kind of don't always, well, they either stay a really, really long time or end up sort of coming in and out, much similar to, I would assume, how a jail works. So this gray room turns out quite nice. I do like it. It's neutral, but still sticks to the sort of gothic theme that's in the rest of the house. Every room has a dresser and a mirror. However, the red room is the only ones to have a fireplace that hopefully the inmates, would that be an appropriate word? Anyway, hopefully that the patients, that's it, patients, that the patients there will enjoy. I really wish I put some more lighting in that room. It's a little on the dark side, even looking at it now. So this is where the second bathroom is going to be. All toilets and kind of baths and stuff are in separate rooms because the inmates, there you go again, because the patients tend to walk in on each other quite a bit, and dying of embarrassment is really not the way I want them to go. So that's why all of that is separated. Now we're moving on to, I guess it's the landing area. It ends up being a little bit sparse, and I don't know if a stereo is allowed or not, but it doesn't say anywhere in the rules that it's not. However, once we finish up this room that I do pretty quickly, we are going to fly into the screenshots. So quickly to finish up, thank you all so much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know what you think of this series, and as always, remember, don't kill the mood.